Hello. Hello. Happy Thursday, everybody. How are you today? I'm a little cold. I had to get the wood stove going because it was colder inside than outside. It's that time of the year. I hate that. Hate that, hate that. Love the fall, love the colors. Don't like what comes after fall. Awfully much. Not really winter girl, just saying. I'm solar powered, as I've said before. Hello, 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 and welcome to the Awareness Zone in the Conscious Dressing Group with the Style Sherpa. I am Galen App, the Style Sherpa. I am your host of the Awareness Zone and the Conscious Dressing Group. That's right, I help people create change in their life using their clothing as tools to get there. Plus a whole host of other modalities that we could work on when we work together. And I just want to welcome you. Every week I do these lives to sort of chat about different things, different mindsets that I work on a regular basis, sort of my anchor points, if you will, of my conscious dressing and the areas where a lot of us need to shift, sort of the big points, right? So this week was full moon. It was full moon on Sunday, I believe. And full moon is always a time of releasing. And for those of you who have been watching my awareness zones, my lives, about a month or so ago, I did a episode on the art of releasing, and where I sort of went through the steps that I created for myself to help me release things that I needed to release. And you should go back and watch that. It's episode 5, I believe. But basically, I'll give you the highlights, the 4 steps for releasing things fully, and like truly fully releasing things that are no longer serving you. My steps were to acknowledge, allow, delight, and invite. So acknowledge what's happening. Acknowledge the thing that you wish to release. And then allow yourself to grieve the going of it, the releasing of it, and be sad and to think about all the things that have brought you good, bad, indifferent, and just sort of just sit in the feelings of all of the feelings, right? And then the favorite part is to delight in the possibilities of what could be coming in. Um, and once you release it, because you're going to create that space, and then to actually actively invite in the new, which the universe loves to respond to an invitation. They love, love, love. The universe loves it. So that was my art of releasing. That's something I covered a couple weeks ago. In my last episode, when last I left you, I was talking about detachment, and the 3 basic styles of detachment that I had talked about were loving detachment, which is where we send somebody or something off with love. We're not detaching fully. We're not fully like making it go out of our life. We're still involved with that person or that thing on a regular basis, but we're just not letting it control us, and we're doing so with great love. And it's a very open communication, and it's a lovely place to be. It is the perfect type of detachment. It's what we would all strive for. Then I talked about protective detachment, and this is where you're starting to get triggered, where you're feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm in danger, my safety, something is not right, and you're trying to protect yourself by detaching, right? Which kills communication. Usually the other person is not aware it's happening, and then that makes them sort of detach, and things kind of fall apart and go awry. And then if you do not take that and do something with it, it can turn into destructive detachment. Also, this can happen on its own, but destructive detachment is when something toxic or needs to come to an end, right? It must come to an end, and there's no communication, and everything is just blown out of proportion, and nothing is good. So those are the 3 basic types of detachment. And so today I want to take the idea of the release and detachment and talk about how they work together. So in my I posted yesterday on Instagram and Facebook, and in the group, I said, when I feel safe with myself, I trust in my abilities, which makes me more confident. When I'm confident, I'm able to lovingly detach and create healthy boundaries. which is another part of the detachment process, is being able to create loving, healthy boundaries. When I lovingly detach, I create ease in the release with that which does not serve me anymore. And then when I release, I create space for growth. So you can see how it's important to fully go through the process of releasing, but also to do so in the right way, right? Because you don't want to just go, I'm just going to write everything I want to release on a piece of paper and I'm going to burn it under the full moon. That's a great symbolism, and I absolutely do suggest that, but that alone is not going to help you release it until you go through all the steps, until you've really sort of searched your soul and thought, okay, what am I truly releasing? Why am I releasing it? And then, think about the place it had in your life, right? So go through the steps of the art of releasing, and then lovingly detach from that. So, in order to release, you do actually have to lovingly detach and not protectively detach or destructively detach. Because with that, unfortunately, you hang on to anger and bitterness, um, guilt, shame, whatever all those feelings are. And usually they're kind of shadow feelings, kind of the negative, that what we consider negative feelings for the most part. Those are still stuck in you. You're not releasing that because you're doing so with anger. You can only fully release and send something away with love. And that's how it fully leaves and goes on its own and just allows you to create that space. And once it's come up and out, then you've created the space for something new. And you invite the something new in. And that's how we grow and evolve. And so I talked on my card pull on Monday. I talked about how I use my conscious dressing and how I find that I unconsciously dress in neutrals when I am in the process of releasing, because this puts me in a state of ego neutrality, as I like to call it. I go to a place where I remove my ego, so it helps me lovingly detach because there's no there's no me involved. It's just sort of sitting in the possibility of what's no longer serving me and thanking whatever it is and feeling the relief and excitement, the relief that it's going, excitement for what's coming, but also gratitude for what it provided. And so my neutral colors really help me do that because I get very color is very powerful. And so if I'm overly grounded, I have a hard time releasing. If I'm overly too much in my heart or not enough in my throat or not feeling confident enough, and I'm wearing something that is amplifying a chakra that might be sort of pulling against the release, I find it best to go into neutrals for me. But some people might need to have their heart chakra supported a little more during the release. They might need that. And so they might want to dress in the pinks or the greens. Excuse me, I feel like I'm going to sneeze. Hopefully not. And so you need to understand what things you have, what do you have in your collection, or what might you need in your wardrobe that you can use on a regular basis when you do need to release things, because things need to be released on a regular basis. It's so lovely that we get the full moon every month because it gives us this opportunity, this place and this moment every month to really sort of reflect and say, okay, what do I need to release, if anything? And we don't always need to release something every month, but sometimes you do have to release things, and sometimes you can release small parts of things, and then the next month you're ready to release a little more of that. And all of that is a process. And as I've talked about, that the releasing is a process, and it can come up and up and up again. And so you can release things and then they can still come up, but they're coming up at a deeper level, coming up at a bigger level. So it's not that you haven't released it. It's just that it's now, you have a deeper understanding of, wow, that was that was bigger than I thought it was. Isn't that interesting? So you're getting more of an idea of who you are and how you are and where you're heading. So I also use my crystals very, very heartily with my releasing and my detachment. Those are big, big supports for me. I love to surround myself with the stones. It's very, very important. Also, essential oils are very helpful for me, and for many people, because smell is one of our strongest emotional ties. We get the smell of cookies baking, or cider, or coffee, or cut grass, all these things. And so essential oils can be very good at sort of helping you work up to the loving detachment, to the releasing, and then being an added level of external support for your conscious dressing. I call it sort of consciously dressing the atmosphere the, of your home, right? That's what essential oils do, is they consciously dress your your air, your atmosphere. So it's kind of a fun tool I like to use. I create my own little recipes for different things. I'll look up different recipes of mixtures, oils, and see what they're recommending for whatever it is I'm releasing or going through. And then I decide if those essential oils work for me, if I truly like them, if they have that effect on me. And then I create my own little recipes to help me and say, oh my gosh, okay, that's what I need to do today. I need to put on my neutrals. I need to put on my supportive stones, and then I'm gonna consciously dress my atmosphere with my essential oils. So I'm just gonna check to see if anybody's popped on, has any questions. Oh, nobody's popped on today. That's quite all right. I did just want to also. Oh, I wanted to go back and talk about some of the quotes that I talked about in my last one about detachment, because they're so rich and so yummy. So I'm going to read the quotes again that I found. And I'm going to see how they sit, listen to them and see how they sit with you today. So the first one was, detachment is the beginning of mastery. And so I think now today we have talked about a little further that how truly it is a little bit more about mastery. It's mastery of self. It's also mastery of release, and through that process you understand yourself better, and the only way to become a master at something is to understand it. So that was a great one. True detachment isn't separation from life, but the absolute freedom within your mind to explore living. And that was by Ron W. Rathburn. I love that one very, very much, because it really does allow you to come into life with an open mind, and a neutrality and no judgments, right? So you come in judgment free, expectation free, and you get to sit in the gratitude of whatever the divine has decided is going to delight and surprise you today. So that's quite fun. I love that quote. And then this last one feels really, really rich. Again, very soothing to me. The detachment doesn't mean I'm trying less hard. It just means that fears and emotions that used to torment and paralyze me no longer have the same power over me. So again, more mastery. It really is about mastering yourself, understanding your reactions, understanding why you responded the way you did previously, and how you can release those responses and evolve and grow and start to respond differently. It's so juicy and wonderful. And knowing that you have a closet full of clothes that you can pull from at these times of release during the full moon. You could even, put together a full moon ensemble, something that you use, some outfit that really makes you feel just divine and um, in your own power, and um, confidence to go to the next level. So I love the idea of having a release ensemble, a full moon outfit, something that you can go and when you truly are ready to release something, to write it on that piece of paper and burn it under the full moon, or whatever your thing is, whatever you want to do with it. Put it in a teacup, crumble it up in the tea, or you know, whatever it is, blow it off in the wind. Um, so it's just another way to use your conscious dressing to elevate yourself and take you to a level that you didn't even think was possible, so that you are then showing up in a more confident way. And this is what I do with my clients in my scent programs. I hold their hands and I help them talk about mindsets and talk about the things they need to shift and how they can use their wardrobe, and help them put together those full moon outfits and help them put together those essential oil recipes that are really going to support them. So these are the sorts of things that I do tackle with my clients in my programs. So if that is something that is of interest to you, definitely reach out to me, private message me. If you are watching this on the replay, definitely let me know you're watching on the replay. I like to know what times are good for people, so I'd love to. That's why I'm sort of changing the times, trying different things. So let me know if you watched the replay. Let me know if you want to have a further discussion about talking about the program, to see if the Ascent program is something that you are ready and wanting to add into your life, so you can create whatever change you're looking for. And I also am looking for things that you guys want to hear me talk about, things that you want me to connect to the conscious dressing, areas that you are in need of tools. So I definitely want to address that. So definitely drop it in the comments, private message me, however you're comfortable making a suggestion. I'm probably going to pop a quiz in. Not a quiz. I should do a quiz because I do love taking my quiz. A survey, different subject matters, so that I can, moving forward, as I touch on my anchor points, I want to make sure that I'm touching on things that interest you and that you find useful. So I hope you have a wonderful, delightful afternoon. Much love. Until next time.